Welcome, comrades and capitalists, to our Cold War journey. By analyzing how military conflicts, political tensions, economic refactoring, and sociocultural influence combined to change Europe's structure, this project highlights the lasting effects of the Soviet Union and the United States on alliances, economies, and national governments. Let's dive into how Europe was split, shaped, and sometimes totally mimed by the Cold War.
First up, military and political chaos. Churchill's Iron Curtain speech in 1946 warned, "An Iron Curtain has descended across the continent." Dramatic, right? But it was true. NATO formed soon after to defend against communist expansion. In return, the Soviets flexed back with the Warsaw Pact, basically saying, "Fine, we'll make our own team." By analyzing the Warsaw Pact documents, especially speeches from leaders like Nicolae Ceausescu, we see how the USSR tied Eastern Europe tightly under its influence. Europe became a chessboard where real people's lives were the pawns.
If you think economic rivalry was boring, think again. The US launched the Marshall Plan to help Western Europe rebuild after World War II, basically throwing money at their friends to stop communism. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union created Comecon for their side, except it was more like mandatory friendship than a real economic boost. Churchill's speech even hinted that without economic help, Eastern Europe would fall completely into Soviet control. This created two totally different Europes, a booming capitalist West versus a struggling socialist East.
Finally, the most underrated battlefields, minds and hearts. Propaganda, education systems, and censorship became the secret weapons of the Cold War. In the West, the Iron Curtain speech fueled democratic propaganda, posters about freedom and capitalism saving the world. In the East, speeches like Ceausescu's inspired pro-socialism posters, textbooks, and even movies teaching kids that America was evil. People grew up under radically different ideologies, building mistrust that lasted long after the Cold War ended.
So next time you wonder why Europe's borders, alliances, or economies look the way they do, remember the Cold War's lasting influence. Military alliances, economic systems, cultural mindsets, all shaped by a decades-long tug-of-war between two superpowers. In the end, Europe wasn't just a battleground, it became a legacy.